What's the crack, people? Hope you're keeping well. Is the audio okay? Big up to Hope Springs, positive vibes, Malter Witty. Let's see who else is in the house. Jimmy, Kelly, thank you very much. Kelsey, all good people. So yes, we're going to come on now, guys, and just bigging up everybody in the chat. Boom, and we're live. Mass Detective, how you doing, sir?
Yeah, as always, good.
Brilliant, mate. It's an honor to have you on. It's an honor to have you coming on, actually telling a bit of your story. So there's Craig in the chat. Sworn. Hope you are all keeping well. So right, the Mass Detective has a bit of a story, and
No, that's it. Yeah,
yeah, we're going to scrape it back a little bit, though, right? We're going to take it back. We're not going to go on about your channel, even though, yes, the Mass Detective channel is in the live chat. I've pinned it, so go and subscribe to the Mass Detective UK's channel. And it's also in the description of this video. If you could kindly go over and subscribe and ring the bell to his channel, please. And we're going to scrape it back a little bit, and we're going to just find out a little bit without showing your face, because there's a reason why you don't show your face, and I agree with that. You've got a family you want to protect and things like that. So, but we're going to scrape it back to the beginning. So, where would you like to start off? Where did you grow up?
wherever you want.
Where did you grow up then?
I grew up in Camden Town.
You grew up in Camden, right? So, when did you first think in your head about your dad or who your father could be?
Do you know what? It never entered my head. I was 7 years old, and I was laying in bed one day, and obviously, mum and dad arguing about something, and obviously that's when my mum come in, and obviously my stepdad, who I class as my real dad, he said to me, "Go and tell him," and basically that's when she told me when I was 7. And from that day, I was almost separate from the family. I sort of, I felt a bit isolated, a bit confused, that type of thing.
So you're 7 years of age, and you get told this. Yeah. What immediately do you feel separated from the family, or what?
No, it didn't. Do you know what? It didn't sink in straight away. I mean, it must have done, because obviously, as I got older, I would bring the subject up. But no, it did. I mean, no, I would say I was maybe just a bit too young to feel that sort of effect, if you like, because I had that strong family unit anyway,
And did you have a stepfather?
Yeah. He basically come into my mum's life when I was a year old.
Right. Okay. Right. So you've always known this guy was a good strong sort of male role model, which is needed. So growing up, then when did you start to ask questions about who your real father could be?
I'd say teenage years, really.
Teenagers.
Right? Yeah, I'd say, because I had like school going on, and I was bunking off school and being a little cunt, if you like, in school. I think that's when it really started to set in, when I was being a bit of a rebel, that type of thing.
Right. Okay. Right. And did you ever from a young age, did you ever seek who your father could be? Did you ever look out and seek out who your father could be?
Oh yeah, like I didn't have no names. This is the thing. Up till I was, I'd say at least 30, I was given no names. I was just told, he's not your dad.
Yeah.
Now I was given bits and pieces, like he lives in this place. He looks like this. I got told he was a cunt a lot.
Did that have an impact? Did that have an impact, being told that your father was a cunt a lot?
No,
Did you think So you didn't care that your father was being called
No,
this. It
because
was just.
as I said, I had I had the male figure, my dad, my stepdad. I had
Mm.
him there from like one. So no, like I suppose I was just too young when he came in, and maybe I just didn't have that shock factor, that sort of I don't know. It was a weird feeling, but I didn't have. Yeah, I didn't really care, to be honest with you. I thought he must have been a cunt if he ain't here.
True, that is true. Yeah, yeah. No, I get. Yeah, yeah, I get that part because you're a good family man yourself, and we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But see, were you always sort of very inquisitive as a young teenager? Because looking at the sort of work that you do now, were you always like an enlightened type person who would
I
sort
was
of.
just a freak. Do you know what? My mum and dad, or mum and stepdad, never shoved anything down my throat in regards to sort of programming or religion. They just let me be. Like I had the moral guidance,
Mhm,
but it was never. It was almost like if he falls over, he'll pick himself up.
mhm.
Um, the guidance is there, don't run. But if I fall, it's not like come to my rescue. Just get back up and proceed. Um, yeah, so I don't know, call it tough love if you want. Call it tough love. Um,
Just looking through the
yeah,
live chat, Parents Against Predators. Liam says, "Big respect, Mass Detective." Hope Springs, pause. They're all giving you good love in the chat. Um, so um, so you weren't programmed as a kid. You had very good outgoing parents who weren't sort of in, like, as you can say, like a religious cult. Because
mm,
everybody's in this religious type cult with either you're
yeah,
Catholic or Muslim or something. So you've got these
yeah,
good parents, and your dad. We'll call him your dad because he was the one that raised you. At the end of the day, he
yeah,
taught you the morals, the
yeah,
all the
well,
things you need. So he is your dad.
yeah,
You
of
don't. It's
course,
just because you didn't share blood doesn't mean he's not your dad.
exactly.
So when did you seek out your father, your biological father?
Well, first of all, I had to seek out the name because
Okay.
I didn't know where to start. But I was like, I would say I was in my twenties. Twenties? No, I was about 27, something like that. 20, 28, yeah, even maybe 30. But the thing was, when I was given a name, it came with a price. So, like, my mum always told me that not to search for him. He's not a nice person, and everything else. But being
Hmm.
an inquisitive teenager, I thought parents don't know nothing, like we all do.
So
And
this was going on as you were asking these questions sort of at the teens age, right up into the
yeah, the
20s.
teenage, yeah. And then there was one day I demanded it, and
Hmm.
it was my stepdad who actually came to where I was staying, and actually told me who the guy's name was.
Fair play.
And he basically left, and I basically didn't speak to none. Like we lived in like a call it like a circumference where if you walk out your door, you've got like friends and family and like all that kind of stuff. So
Mm.
when I was told the name, I was disowned straight away. Like no one was talking to me. The family walked past me, mum, dad, auntie, sisters, brothers,
So when
friends.
you were told your biological father's
Yep,
name, they actually took that out on you. Did you seek
yep,
this, and
yep.
your stepfather, well, your father
Well,
give you the name?
yep, yep. So I was disowned for 3 years.
Wow. How did that make you
Yeah.
feel?
Um, to be honest with you, that's when I took religion on.
What
In that
religion?
time, I was you could call it weak, and I was searching. Obviously, I was searching for that, but I was searching for something as comfort, and
Hmm.
I wasn't into religion. And then I took religion on,
Hmm.
and yeah, it had a
What
little
reli-
effect.
what religion did you take on?
It Islam,
So you became a Muslim.
yeah,
And how did that help you in any way, shape, or form to sort of bring in an extra family unit, sort of because the ones that you were missing at the time? Like as you were saying, you were very close, and then you went from being very close to now being sort of outcasted for wanting to know the truth.
mm.
You've joined Islam. Does Islam sort of fill the gap that you need?
No, do you know what it was? It just took. I think it just took the that essence away from something else. I was quite an addictive person in regards to sort of like if I enjoyed something and I got my head into it, I'm searching that out or I'm seeking it out to where I
Yeah,
can't seek it out no more, you know.
yeah.
Um, and basically that's what I've done, and it was more of a take my mind off of that, um, and now look to what your purpose in life is. Now, obviously, religion doesn't hold it, but it does hold um, some key points, you know. Yeah,
No, it no, Sarah, it does. It really does. It doesn't matter if it's what religion it is, but there is key points in every religion. Just
yeah,
like there's they have their silly points that don't make any sense.
yeah, yeah.
But so how long do you spend in Islam then?
8 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah,
Were you fully devoted?
yeah. You
Wow.
could have said that I would have been a fundamentalist or yeah, something like that.
What do you mean?
Like what people call an extremist.
Is that
So
just
like following it right, like following it literally to the book.
right? Okay, so you're saying basically if you follow Islam to the book, to the what it actually says, then you could possibly become an extremist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow. That's-
Most
And
definitely.
was that the type of atmosphere in the mosque that you were going
No,
to?
I just felt I had loads more family members because it was a brotherhood. You know what I mean? Everyone was like, brother, brother, they welcomed you. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
That was at the time when I wasn't welcomed because of the name I got given. So there was
Right.
that
What?
family.
Yeah.
Mm.
Sorry,
And
go
then
ahead. I didn't mean
obviously,
to.
then no, I'm just going to sort of break it down and get off this subject. But
Mhm.
so from that, I started researching like I do. Started researching, found out a lot of things were flawed. I went on to just following the Quran alone. It helped. It helped, made life a little bit more easier. And then after I searched Quran alone, I started diving into the etymology of the Arabic and the lexicons and all this. And I found it was all
What age was this at?
as I said, this was at the time just after I was given the name and I was disowned by my parents. And, you
Hmm.
know, so in a space of like 4 years, so I just started talking to my mum and that after 4 years or 3 years, I think it was 3 or 4 years, I started talking
Hmm.
to him again. And then I started questioning I picked up, which was the Islam faith. And it was almost like a scapegoat of because I had the name, I was searching everywhere. I literally searched everywhere and I was looking for maybe he looks like me, maybe there's fucking something.
And
But
what
at
was
that
the name?
time,
What was the name that you were given? What was the exact name that you were given as
William Maloney, but his name is Bill Maloney.
Bill Maloney?
So
So
I
you
was
were told,
searching William
yeah.
Maloney, I was searching
Hmm.
Bill Maloney, um, and it got so fucking difficult. I just thought to myself, you know what? Allow this. I'm going to carry on with my research. And at that time, I was researching like what the campaigners were doing against child abuse, um, uh, health, obviously religion. I was searching a number of things.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and then like then I started getting little bits of information from my aunties and that. You know, just little bits of like,
Hmm.
and when I mean little bits, I mean like a word at a time,
And
a fucking word at a time.
do you think that they were hesitant to say to you, knowing what happened before with the whole
Yeah, no,
outcast thing?
do you know what it was? It was because they promised my mum they wouldn't tell me
And why was your mum so adamant not for you to know?
because, as she said, he was a cunt. Because when she was pregnant, he left her with a baby when she was 18, coming on to 19,
Hmm.
and she was alone. Or she came from a child's home. She had no clue of raising a family. So she had to struggle for a year looking after the baby. When she went to his house to ask him where the fuck he is or whatever, he turned around
Hmm.
and said he's getting married.
And did he meet you as a child?
Apparently, that's what he said. When I met up with him, he said, I was with your, like around you up to the age of 6 months old.
So that we'll gets to the point then. So when did you then make contact? How did you find out where he lived? How did you
Right.
make
Well,
contact? How did you go about this?
this was spooky, right? Because when I forgot about the name, everything was all right with the mum and dad and all this kind of stuff. And I got back into my researching, and I went back onto the child abuse videos that the campaigners that what they were
Mm-hmm.
doing,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just sitting there for fucking Bill Maloney. Hold on a minute, I've been watching this guy for 3 years, and I just
Right.
didn't click.
How did
Like
that?
it just,
How did
it was
that?
it.
How did you know? Like, how did that affect your head, knowing you've been watching this guy? You maybe like this guy.
Do you know what it
What is like
was?
that? What is that? What are them emotions like?
I liked his attitude, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't. I wasn't the type to start sort of deciphering videos and words and things like that. And it was a relief because I didn't have to do any more searching because it was like hitting a brick wall all the time. So it was a relief. So I thought to myself, Pie Mash Films, Bill Maloney, Lewisham, and like all the information was connecting with what my mum said and the area she lived and all this kind of stuff. So
Excitement then. There's a bit of excitement too then.
uh, you could call it excitement. Yeah, you could call it excitement. So then what I did is I found his number online,
Right.
and then I
Okay.
called him, and then that's where it started.
And how did that conversation go?
Um, that conversation went like this. No, I basically what I just told him, I said, look, I'm looking for a family member because the moment you say I'm looking for my dad, it's going to be like, whoa, hold on. So I
Yeah,
thought, right,
yeah.
I already worked out the story. I already worked out all the dates, everything. I'm not going to tell him. If it's true, he will automatically come up with exactly what I came out with. So I
Mm-hmm.
sat back and I said to him, look, this is the dates, the times, the age. And then I mentioned my mum's name. And then he went, so you're saying you're my son? And I said, yeah. Anyway, he said, oh, well, you know, I had sex with many women back then, and your mum had sex with many boys back then. Uh, you know, it might not be possible, but give me a couple of days and I'll call you back. And then I gave him a couple of days. He called me back. And he only talked to me when his wife weren't around because he couldn't go into detail otherwise. So I wonder, have you lied to your wife with dates and shit? That's why you can't speak to me when she's around. Because when she weren't around, that's when he would open up and give me the information.
Wow. So basically, there's a scenario here where he was at one time he had two women,
I
and
believe. Yeah.
yeah, well, it looks like that. You know, we'll call it how it is here. He had two women,
Yeah.
and he was probably in love with both of them,
Yeah.
and your mother wasn't like that because as you'll find as the story goes on, that your mother wasn't like that. She was a very good lady. Okay, you might have your own sort of disagreements with her with the whole information side of things, but she was a good person. She wasn't what Bill was saying, and
No.
and at that time, he chose that other family, that he was that other woman, and
Yeah.
left you in the lurch. And did he admit to
Yeah.
all those things as the time went on?
Well, when I said to him, my mum went to your house, she told me she went to your house and you said you were getting married. I said, why did you say that? And his response to me, right, was the family was aggressive. I
Your
left it
mum,
at that. I didn't want to go no further because my mum said he said he's getting married to another woman, and he's now telling me it's because the family was aggressive.
your mum's
So
family.
but because he's already fucked me off, and he's an arsehole for doing that anyway, I'm gonna take my mum's word for it. So I thought, you
100%.
know what, I'm not gonna go deep into that. I'll just leave it as it is.
Yeah, well, that's a very wise decision to make because
Mm,
as you'll find, if you do sort of take it the calm route and sort of let things progress, things come
yeah,
to light, things come out. The truth
of
always
course I
comes
do.
out.
Yeah,
It's a sign of maturity. To be honest with you.
yeah.
So how does the relationship progress then? You say that he doesn't really speak to you when his wife's about. Does he introduce you to any siblings? Does he ask you
No,
to come round? Does he
no.
is
He
does
basically said, like, um, he said, this is what he said. My wife, I'm not going to name no names because people know what his wife's name is, but
Mhm.
he said his wife has said not to involve her and the child into mine and his relationship, and that was fine. That was fine, you know. Um, and then so I spoke to him for 2 hours every day, 2 hours non-stop talking, right? And it weren't me doing all the talking. But this went on for about 3 months, 2 hours every day, apart from Saturday and Sunday.
And do you was he initiating the contact? Was it you ringing all the time? Was it he ringing? Was it split? What way was it working? Was
Yeah,
he
he was
interested?
phoning me. Yeah, he was phoning me.
So he's interested at this point. So
Yeah, he kept saying to me, "I'll call you tomorrow. I'll call you tomorrow. I'll call you tomorrow."
and what information is he telling you at this stage? Is he coming? Is he changing his story to do with your
Yeah,
mum? What?
he totally. It was none of this. Um, oh, you're not my son. He was filling like the missing bits. Even though I had the story,
Mhm.
he was filling in the missing pieces that I already worked out before I contacted him. And he
Right. So
built a nice
he's confirming.
picture. Yeah, he was confirming everything that I'd already worked out without me mentioning it.
Yeah, and that's the
And he
type
was,
of person you are. You'll let somebody confirm it to you for what you already
yeah,
know. So then it just knits in together, and then you know yourself. You don't even have to speak about it. It just is what
yeah,
it is. So
yeah.
when does it go pear shaped?
So first of all, well, we met up. So after 3 months of speaking to him for 2 hours every single day, which he used to call me, um, and he used to call me son as well, like love your son and all that shit, yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
then we met up. We met up in Greenwich, and I spent half the day with him, and everything was
Was that the
going
first time
like,
he's met?
yeah, it was the first time we met, but and it wasn't like when you meet a stranger. I don't know if people have met strangers. It just weren't that.
What age were you?
Oh fucking hell! That was 2019, so I was 40, 45. Yeah, 45, 44,
Wow,
coming on
wow,
45. Yeah,
wow. That's mad to think that. So that's quite recent, then. That's very recent. So
yeah, yeah.
all this meetups and stuff. That this is all recent stuff. It's not didn't happen years ago.
No,
Wow. So you met up, and how did it? Was there a big space between you speaking to meeting up,
no,
or
no, no. He was
so?
quite. He wanted to listen.
Mhm.
Um, and after we talked and all that, and he clarified even more stuff. I said, shouldn't we do? We should do a DNA. We should just do a DNA. You're agreeing on you're my dad, and I'm your son. We do a DNA in it, finalize it. He said I would, but I don't need to because I know you're my son. I was like, all right, sweet.
So yeah, but if he knows, like as you say now, what in your mind, what's the next step though? So if you are his son and he's going out there and he's saying is he shouting this from the rooftops? Is he bringing
No,
you into the
no, no.
home?
See, yeah,
It's
this
still
is the thing. So I thought to myself, hold on, all right, let's see. Like I'm thinking in my head how I would be as a dad that had a child that come along, and the time I've missed out with him and all this kind of stuff, the things that I would maybe say or do. And I'm
hmm
expecting him to do the same thing because it's only fair.
hmm
Um, but he never did. I offered him to come round and see his grandchildren. Nope. And all this, and I offered to pick him up, drop him off. I made it so easy for him. Anyway, he denied it.
Did he have any other grandchildren?
Yeah, he's got. That's all I can say is he's got.
Mhm. No, that's okay. No, that's
Not
fair enough.
many. Not many, but he's got. And then anyway, so we started talking, and he was starting to call. It wasn't normal. See, the 2 hours or 3 hours that he used to call, I always used to make sure I was free at that time because it was fucking hard getting him off the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, the guy can talk. And anyway, so he started calling like every other day, and you'll hear that in the audio because he admits to that, every other day and all this kind of stuff. And then I thought, he's taking the piss. He's playing me again. So
Right, so he starts to sort of diminish the contact slowly.
Yeah, and I could feel it. I don't know, it was some energy thing, man, but I could feel that it was just something weren't right. But I knew around this time he was going for his Shirley Oaks claim, and I knew around this time that because he's busy trying to do that claim shit, he ain't really got time for me because he's, whether it's going out signing papers, solicitors, whatever. So he ain't got time. So he's thinking, fuck him because I've got to go for the money or whatever. So I thought, fuck this, man. I can't be sitting there waiting for him to phone when he says he's going to phone. He don't phone. He don't fucking text to say, sorry, I couldn't phone you today and all this shit. So I thought, this is, if you're like that to me, then what would you like to my fucking mother? And how must she have felt carrying a baby, having a baby by a man who don't give a fuck when I feel the way I do because he was too rude to even leave a message to say, can't call, sorry for you to cancel your arrangements today, but I'm a bit tied up or I'm a bit busy, you know?
And just to let the viewers know, what does this man do?
Well, apparently he used to child campaigner. Again, he's just a fucking he's a child abuse campaigner, right? But I'm telling you now, people, yeah, he's not. Yeah, he was in it for other shit. Yeah, trust me on that. As you'll see in the other videos that I've made, which exposes him.
Yes. So what's the dates? When are these videos coming out that you're going to be exposing all this?
Well, first of all, I'm going to put the little connection with Bill first. I'm going to put that up first, and then they'll just come one after the other after that, you know.
And what channel can we find this on?
The Questioner.
The Questioner.
So on my Masked Detective channel, there's a little promo. In the description of the promo is my other two channels.
Right. So guys, if you can jump over to the Masked Detective UK, I've left it in the live chat and the description of this video. If you jump over to his channel, subscribe, ring the bell, all information about what would you call this? An exposure?
No, not the exposure, just it's about a few prats that think they're saying special, and they've been caught out.
Yeah, and this is all from their own mouth, so nothing.
Yeah, there's no defamation, nothing. It's all coming from their own mouth.
It's all coming from their own mouth. And so go over, subscribe. I've left the Masked Detective UK channel in the live chat. It's pinned and the description of this video. Jump over, subscribe, ring the bell to his channel, and you will get all the information on his channel about there's a 6-part series, isn't there, of this here?
Oh no, I've narrowed it to 3 parts now.
So 3-part series to this, where he's going to be there. You can see and hear all of this in real fine detail, guys.
Yeah,
so
I mean, there's like people have put little clips on YouTube, and possibly people know about them. But what I've done is I've tried to build a bigger picture. So rather than seeing the pixels, I'm giving you the actual, the actual picture.
Yeah. So he's now distancing himself. Yeah. Do you get back into contact with him at any stage, or is that just it? How does that go?
Well, as I said, he stopped phoning when I was making space. I was making time, and he was so rude not to even just fucking phone up. Anyway, so I'd text him, and he would text me back and say, I've been a bit busy, and all this kind of stuff. Love your son and all this shit, right? So I obviously left it. And then he would call me, and then he done it again. And in this time, there was few people on YouTube that were cussing him, if you like. But obviously, I didn't see the issue with this bill. I just thought he's a cunt at the moment. He's obviously not a cunt online because he's standing up for children. I didn't, I didn't know anything. So, dude sent me a few text messages saying, "But yeah, I'm your dad and all this fucking shit." And he always used to say, "Love you, dad." Anyway, so I said to him, I said, "Look, there's a few people online, yeah, and they're saying shit about you, yeah." And I was basically giving him a thumbs up. Can I basically?
Can you say the things that they were saying?
Oh, it was just all the usual shit that everyone says. Nah, he's a con man. He's a liar. That type of stuff. Okay. I never knew this shit, and I thought, no, I'm not having that. I'm on these channels and I'm just sitting there taking it. So I mentioned. He said, "Don't." He said, "Saying I'm not Elvis Presley. You can't put yourself on a pedestal for the work I did, or something like this." And I said it, and then obviously I explained I didn't want to put myself on a pedestal. I just literally wanted to stick up for him because I thought he was a man of his word.
So basically, he said to you, I'm going to round that up. How I would take that, maybe I think a bit differently from most, but I would take that as if I don't want you jumping on board my work and getting any credit for anything that I do.
Yeah, maybe, but I think there was a sneaky eye. He didn't want the fact of me coming out with it. He was all right keeping it a secret.
Right, okay. So you wanted to come out with this here and say, look, I'm Bill Maloney's son. Don't be speaking to him like that. He's not that type of guy. He's a good guy. He campaigns against child abuse. Why are you saying this thing? This guy's trying to help kids. F you, fuck off, whatever. And your reaction to that is basically, no, don't defend me, because his motive is he doesn't want you coming out to say that you're his son. Why do you think that is?
Because I'm sure he'd be questioned. Like, look, if he's not questioned, people are going to say, "You're his son." Oh, so, and then they're going to start questioning. Oh, how did he raise you and all this? The usual shit. And I'm going to say, nah, he fucked my mum off, and I never see him. But he's in the line of He's in the line of a campaign against child abuse. But yet he's left his child.
But it has to, and what he done. Yeah, I suppose, in a way, he's actually.
It's emotional. It's emotional abuse, isn't it?
Emotional abuse. I know there's a lot of people out there that have kids that don't see their kids. There's fathers don't see their kids for various reasons. But for instance, he's now came into your life and he's emotionally abused. He's messing with your head. And for his type of work is, look, let's stop all child abuse. But actually, in fact, what he's doing here is actually a form of child abuse, regardless of age. And it could actually expose the type of person who he was. And it doesn't portray him in a very good way. So then after that phone call, how do you feel, and what is your next plan of action? What do you think that's the relationship over, or are you try to?
Well, I basically said to him, we need to do a DNA. That's the only thing that's going to find us, because when I said that, that's when he started saying, like going back, yeah, but I slept with many people back then. The dates don't match up when I was married, and fucking, giving all these fucking bullshit again, giving all these bullshit. Oh, and then that's when he said your mum had loads of boyfriends, and that's when it pissed me off, because I thought, you're going back on what you said after 9 months. And now you're calling my mum a slag, obviously, because that's what you call people that sleep around indirectly. And my mum's dead. My mum was dead at 56. So she was dead she died in 2012. So she had been dead a long time. But I just thought to myself, you ain't fucking mugging her off to me. There's no way.
And was he saying things like that to you?
Like indirectly calling her a slag because she slept with many people back then. My mum never done that.
He wasn't sensitive to the situation. He basically
was the one that done that. He was the male slag.
Yeah,
that's what he was. He was a Jack the lad. Thought he was fucking it, and that's what my mum used to say as well. He thinks he's fucking it, Jack the lad, all that shit.
And do you think that his current wife knows any of this?
Well, this is the thing.
about who he
He,
was and about the type of
no,
person he is.
he's either. I know she's either in it. She's either in it with him, right?
Mhm.
Because she didn't seem too shocked. I spoke to her on the phone. She didn't seem too shocked. But she was all right trying to talk to me and give me dates to say it can't be right. But then I checked the dates, and the dates that they agreed with, you'll hear it on the audio. The dates that they agreed with, I worked it all out. You've seen the video, ain't you?
Right, guys, I'm just gonna thank you for saying that, the Mass Detective, because you've just came in. I've watched it. You break down the mathematics to this so well. I've never seen a mathematician couldn't have broke it down as well. You break it down so well that you have to take about 5 minutes just to process what's going on, and it just all makes sense. So,
And I
guys,
didn't just do it. You know what it was? He mentioned a date, and he
yeah,
mentioned ages.
yeah,
She did, and basically I took them dates. Then I
mhm,
went on to a couple of his videos where his so-called wife has said, "I've been married to Bill for X amount of times, X amount of years." I took that date,
mhm,
and then I took the date of when his little shit fucking lunatic fucking film came out. And actually, he stated what age he was and what his daughter age is and what his wife's age is. And I
mhm.
basically used all them fucking dates. I calculated it, and I hit the fucking. I knew I was right. I fucking knew I was right.
uh, when I seen it, I was like, they really tried to cover their tracks, but in doing that,
Yeah,
they actually give you everything
yeah,
that you needed, and it was just
yeah.
like there's no fooling the Mass Detective. So right, so she's actually having I didn't know she's having phone calls with you and actually like trying to,
Well, I spoke to her once or twice. It weren't
but like
like I
she's trying to
wasn't.
discredit, she's trying to give you dates and discredit things,
No,
and
that was after. Like before, it was like, oh, nice to hear you. You know that fucking bollocks. It was only when I said I wanted to mention him online
right,
that he
right.
went like totally the opposite direction.
Yeah, as you can see here, he wanted to keep you in secret, but under no circumstances do you want this to be a secret. You want to
No.
be involved. You want to be involved. You're actually quite open with him. You're speaking
Like,
to
what's the
him.
problem, innit? What's the problem? I'm a 45-year-old man. I don't need my ass wiped. I don't need money. I don't need love. I don't need
Mhm.
fuck all from him. All I want, are you my fucking, let's do a DNA test. Are you my dad? If you are, let me go and get an Irish fucking passport so I can put your name on my fucking birth certificate, got Irish passport, man.
So if Bill Maloney sees this right now, what's your message to him?
He can go fucking drop dead. No, seriously, I know it's harsh as it is, yeah, but he's been a lot harsher. He's took me on this like roller coaster ride, calling me his son, saying he's my dad, fucking filling in the gaps, which I already knew. Um, all this fucking shit, you know. And then all of a sudden he wants to flip and say nah. But I offered him DNA test after DNA test. I said I'll pay for it. I'll come and pick him up. We'll do it together. I'll drop it off. I said I'll do all the running around.
And what do you think is the reason why he is there multiple reasons? Is there one reason why
No,
he
do you
didn't
know
want
why? Because he
to?
said I've got people, right? And we sat down, and the dates don't work out, mate. They don't fucking work out. It's impossible. But I kept repeating, but it's not biologically. Oh, we got all the dates. That's why I
Sure,
went to. That's why I went to the dates and I calculated it all.
sure. If that's the case, then just do the DNA test and it'll just prove him right then.
Well, exactly. And he was like, "Ah, not many geezers will be talking to you now." And I said, "Yeah, but most geezers, when someone comes along and says I'm your fucking child, will do a DNA test, especially if they ain't
Well,
got to pay it and do anything." He went, "No,
he's
they won't."
I'm just sorry just to jump in there, and I don't mean to cut in
That's right.
because, but what I will say is that doesn't sound like a guy. That sounds like a guy now. The real side of him coming out. This person who protects kids. Now you're seeing the real side of this guy come out now. What geezer would be speaking? Well, actually, a decent geezer, a decent person would come out if there was a child that in the future came to me and says, "Look, I think you're my dad." I would do Autumn. I would be bringing up a DNA test. I'd be saying, "Listen, let's get
Mm,
a DNA test done to
yep,
solidify this." But this guy now he's now turned full asshole from child
yep.
protector to asshole within the space of 60 seconds.
It gets
And
worse though. I mean,
yep,
it does get worse.
So yeah. How does this? How does it progress worse then?
Well, on the audio, I don't want to spoil the audio, but on the audio, he slips up a few times. First, we say, "Don't work out, it don't work out right." And then there's a bit in there about a DNA test, and I said about doing the DNA test. He said maybe it might come back with like, we got something, and I just thought to myself, hold on a minute, hold on, what do you mean it might come back? If I'm your child, it won't come back nothing.
Yeah,
So
he's
that
not
was
your
number
uncle.
one.
Like, he's not your uncle. He's not your cousin. He's potentially your
Exactly.
father.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So then the second thing was, and I said, why did you call me your son all the way through? And he went, well, I wanted you to be. And I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Sure, if he
You
wanted you to
wanted me
be,
to
then
be. I was
if he
quite
want
excited, really, and then you turned against me. That's what he said.
right, so he's a narcissist. He's trying to play mind games. He's trying to gaslight you
Yeah,
basically to think a different situation that's happened, which isn't. If he
yeah,
really wanted you to be his son, he would have invited you into the home, welcomed you into the family, done a DNA test, and got it over and done with. But now
yeah,
he's backtracking, and he's acting like a
yeah,
prick.
yeah.
That's mental. That's mental. I can't believe we're
And then,
talking about a
and
guy
then he
who
said, oh, and then in
advocates
there,
against child
he
abuse.
also says, if you were younger, things would be different. What the fuck? I'm not your child, though. That's what you said. What do you mean things would be different if I was younger?
He's not a very intelligent man, is he?
No, he's a prick, man. He's a fucking prick. That's why he's a liar, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, he's not very intelligent to come out for. Like, he's basically saying there, he's lying to your face. That's the
Yeah,
sort of the definition of gaslighting. He's lying to your
yeah,
face, but in the same sentence, he's telling you it would be different if you were younger. So if you're younger, I'd be your
yeah,
kid, but I'm not your kid because I'm
yeah,
46.
yeah.
Doesn't make
And
sense,
then he
does it?
started using the fact he said, "You've attacked my wife, you've attacked my daughter," and I said, "What do you mean I've attacked them?" Right? Anyway, and then
What did he mean by that?
you keep mentioning them, right? And I said to him, "Bring me the proof of where I've done this, audio and messages or video. Bring me the proof where I've done this." Anyway, I said to him, but you mentioned my mum, you mentioned my child. That in right, that means if I'm attacking your wife and child because I'm speaking about them, then you're
Mm-hmm.
speaking about the people on my side. That means you're also attacking. And then he went, I speak about them in a positive way. Well, I never said anything negative because one, I haven't spoke to the daughter. Two, I only spoke once to the fucking so-called wife, and that was it.
Wow, what an absolute cunt.
Yeah,
What an absolute fucking cunt that is. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not just so much like he was a cunt from the get go. He was nice,
yeah.
cunt, nice, cunt. It's sort of like he was getting pressure from somebody else. Do you think maybe, without speaking out of turn, do you think maybe there was his wife had more of a? Do you think
No,
if
I
he?
don't know. Do you know what it is? Look, he claimed, right, he was sexually abused. Now you can check this on Sky News, you can check it on the Shirley Oaks Association, you can check it on many videos. He mentions about being sexually abused. But hold on a minute. On Sun Sea and Satan, his camera woman says he was fortunate not to be sexually abused. At the end of Sun Sea and Satan, by his own gob, he sits there and says he was fortunate not to be sexually abused because he was a rebel. So
Right,
if that money that he's claimed has anything to do with sexual abuse on his part, he's perverting the course of justice.
right. And do you think? I'm just gonna speak outside the box here for a minute. Do you think that in the back of his mind, if he does a DNA test with you, that you could be
I could get some.
entitled? And do you think it's about money then? It's now about money.
I think, yeah, it's about money. But do you know what? I don't want none of his dirty money. It's filthy
And, did,
money. I don't want none of
and
that.
you never wanted any of that.
No, I don't want nothing. All I wanted him to say, yeah, let's do a DNA test. Yep, you're my dad. All right, call me whenever you want. I'll put you on my birth certificate. I'll get myself a passport because I don't like this fucking country anyway. Yeah, I've got a connection with Ireland for some reason. Yeah, I just got a connection for it, and you know, it's just it's an easy avenue for myself in it. And plus, rather than my birth certificate saying unknown, it will say a fucking name there, innit?
Well, like you should maybe get, I don't know, is it a, because you can get a British passport living in Northern Ireland, but you
Look,
can also, do you know what I
the
mean?
thing is,
You could live in Ireland, you could live in Northern Ireland,
he
and
doesn't
it's
want to do it. He
still
doesn't
Ireland, you
want to
know.
do a DNA, yeah, right? He doesn't want to do one. But if he comes publicly and he says I'm not his son and I'm a liar and I'm a fraud, I will pay the £360. I will apply for parentage for parenting or parenting for parentage, a C63 form, and I will request the court to force him to do a DNA test.
And that is a thing that can be done,
Yeah,
because
it can.
you know,
But
I think it's in somebody. There's another law too. I was looking into it. I could be wrong. Could be an old law, but somebody who's a public figure, so who's got a sort of a media presence. This was before social media, are sort of inclined to do these things. Because at the end of the day, if he comes out and says no, I'm not doing this, that could ruin him. And
yeah,
you're sitting here saying, all I want to know is, are you my dad or are you not
or
my
not.
dad?
But
It's simple,
but
simple.
if it comes back, he ain't my dad. I've got other questions. Why the fuck did you say you was? How many
Yeah.
people, strangers, have you done this to? That's a bit
Have
weird,
you
isn't it?
have you got audio of him saying that
What?
that he is your dad?
I've got audios of him saying I wanted you to be my son and all that fucking shit. Of course, yeah, it's just it's on there, isn't it?
Yeah,
Not
yeah. So
not
like, you
him
know,
saying he's just saying it doesn't work out, but you can hear him in the audio totally fuck up and slip up.
yeah. I mean, for the general public to listen to that, it doesn't
He
matter.
can't say on the audio because that audio was the only one I took was the final conversation I had with him, and that conversation was a heated conversation. So I recorded it because I knew it weren't going to go well at the end of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're starting to get suspicious of his actions, and of
Yeah.
course, I would do the exact same thing.
I told him I was recording it, by the way, as well, and I think he didn't hear that bit because he just continued.
Yeah, fuck him, fuck him. I hope he didn't hear it. That's, I swear to fuck him. But the thing about it is, you know, it's as plain as simple as this. He's scared of something here. He's scared of a few things actually. He's scared of being exposed as this person who led a potential son down a path that he shouldn't. He's scared of
Yeah,
being exposed because that would be a ruination to his whole career.
yeah,
After you've just said there, you do not believe about the whole sexual abuse thing, and he's scared of all this coming out because at the end of the day, it took you 5 minutes to look into this and go, hold on, there's inconsistencies in what he's saying on throughout the whole board here. So, I mean, you know, he is scared, and I
yeah.
would be very,
You know what?
you know,
He was
I'd be
telling
shocked if
me.
he actually does this DNA testing. I think you'd probably have to
No,
force him
he
to do
won't.
it.
He said on the thing, he said, I ain't taking no fucking DNA test. That's what he said. But look, right, he said it was just a bunk up with my mum, right? But the information that I had and that I worked out and that I told him and he agreed with it and relayed everything and filled in the missing puzzles, it wasn't just a bunk up. He had a relationship, a year or 2 year relationship he had because he was also dating my mum when my mum was living with her sister outside of the home.
And was
But he
that
said
confirmed?
it was just a
Confirmed?
one night thing.
But that was confirmed, wasn't it, by a family
Yeah,
member?
of course, Marnie's confirmed it. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's been confirmed on your side of things,
yeah.
and was he with you? I think was he with you for a period of time? He's seen you as a
6 months.
baby.
Saying that's what he said to me. He said that to me.
6 months. He's seen you right up until 6 months, and then
Yeah,
he left.
yeah,
I'm just gonna look. I'm just gonna give my 2 cents in that. I don't know any person that could be with a baby, a 6 month old baby, right up till the 6 month part and walk away. That takes a bit of a sociopath to do that because no feelings, even a narcissist, a narcissistic sociopath, no feelings, no empathy. You've got this bond. Maybe it's just me, but there's this bond with a baby. You can't, it doesn't matter about other women or men or family members, fuck all of them. You've got this bond that can't be broken. So for him to be able to
Mm.
do that sort of paints a bit of a picture into his personality and what he's like. And he is capable of not fraudulent behavior, but it is like
Yeah, well,
it's like a fraudulent lifestyle. He's able to
in
just
the
go about,
in the
you know.
video, obviously in the video, which is one video is all about him. Yeah, there's fraud, there's blackmail, there's intimidating a witness. I mean, there's enough shit in there. Enough shit.
Yes. So what point then? So what's the lead up? What leads after that then?
What leads after that? Well, in the conversation, you'll hear that he said if anything comes of this, or if my life becomes in danger, or something like that, you'll hear it on the audio. I've been told I can get people, and then he switched and he said I can get police to come and pay you a visit. So that was a threat. I have got proof of a threat, an indirect threat.
Right. So this absolute dickwipe is now threatening you. Basically, if you
Yeah.
come out about this, and this is one of the reasons I do believe you wear the mask, because you yourself have a few kids, and
Look, do you know what it is? He knows what I look like. You know what I look like.
yeah.
But these people online, I don't know them. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to get my face off so people can just start looking at my face and not listening to what I'm talking about, you know?
Yeah, well, there's a couple of reasons why you wear the mask. You wear the mask because you want people to actually hear what you're saying and not
Yeah,
study your face. You
yeah,
just want them to
yeah,
hear your message,
yeah.
but also that you want there is that whole thing with your possible biological father of him being an absolute cunt and threatening you like that, and you do have kids.
Well, I mean,
Your kids are your priority at the end of the day.
he said, yeah, well, the thing is, right, he said that about he threatened me. I have video proof that he threatened me. When you look into the law of threats, yeah, that's actually a threat. He's got nothing off me because I never threatened him. Right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, he said in the audio, I still work for the fucking old Bill. Nah, mate.
Does he work? Can I ask you a question? If he's working for the cops in regards to saving children, I support that 100%. I don't think that's a
No, you
grass.
can't. See, the thing is, you can't be a campaigner and work for the police.
And why is that?
You just can't. It's two different sides.
Is he campaigning against this? He's trying to say that
No,
there's
so what happened is there's an older video where his wife is on video. As I said, it's all in the video. On video saying that he used to work for the old Bill. Then there's an audio video where he's talking some skank of a lady. I say skank of a lady because if you support these people, yeah, you're wrong. But anyway, talking to this lady, and he said the police are corrupt. But then he's saying he works for the police. So, and then on another video, he said he helped the police. So I don't know if he works for them, if he's helped them, if they're corrupt, or he used to work for them. But the trouble is, I don't think he does work for them, and in which case he's impersonating a police officer, which is another nicking.
Yeah, so the thing about it is, right, if he's given information to the police about certain scenarios and involving kids, I promote that because that's going to save a child's life. But if he's out and out saying, look, I work for the police, I'm doing this here, A, B, and C, blah, 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 yeah, then he's now implementing himself into a scenario where, once again, it could be a fraudulent sort of scenario that he's concocting in his own head. So, I mean, like, you know, he sounds like a very, very crafty guy. Like,
no, he's not that crafty. He ain't that crafty, trust me. As I said, if you're upon the truth, yeah, don't matter how crafty you think you are, you're going to slip up if you're lying.
Well, he's definitely lying about something, and you can tell that straight out. So, and he has slipped up a few times here. I'll go back and I'll watch this back in detail tomorrow, and you can definitely tell from what you've told me in regards to dates. He's tried to give you dates to do with birth and stuff like that. And he's give you this, but actually it proved that, if anything, that he is the dad.
Yeah.
He's tried to use this as an excuse.
You know what it is, right?
You know,
I'm not even kicking a fuss up about it. Yeah, you know, the thing I'm kicking a fuss up about is the lies. Why the fuck don't you want to take a DNA test? If you ask anyone in the chat, if a child come to you and said, "I'm your child," I'll pay for the DNA. I'll do all the business. You've got to just provide what is needed, and that is it. Are you going to? Are you just going to go? No, I don't need to know. You are my son. You are my child.
Yeah. What's the last form of contact you had with this guy?
That was it. At the end, I wanted to say something, and he went, "I'm gone now." And then it just, you know, the phone hung up, and I said, "You can't," and that was it.
That was it. And you, what age? When was that? What date was that?
That was in 2020.
So that's 2020. That's quite recent. So that's 2020. You're 40. You were 46 at the time.
So about 10 months talking to him. 11 months talking to him.
Wow. So once again,
and every single time he said he's my dad and I'm his son.
So this is what I'm trying to say. Look, I'm just taking this just to psychoanalyze that situation again. There's 10 months. You were a baby, 6 months. He's able to walk away from a child. So that's you know, it's different for a man that's never met a child. You walk away, you don't have that bond. Then again, he meets you down the road, you make contact. 10
Even
months,
in Greenwich, he told
away.
me if I came to him when I was 20 years old, things would have been different as well. He said that to me, to my face, in Greenwich. He said, if only you were younger.
He can gain something from you then, you see. It's all about him.
We would have done football together and all that fucking shit he was saying.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with that. It's nothing to do with that. It's what he's thinking there is, how he can gain something from you. Because you're do you know, like somebody who can maybe work for him and do this and do, you know, because you're sitting there, you've got your own life, you've made it, you're a good dad, you've got your own wife, you've got your own life.
When he said,
if my life gets corrupt your brain.
When he said, if my life gets in danger like this, right? You know, the funny thing is, there's a video out there where he's telling Brian Harvey, that he's on a hit list. So if he's already on a hit list, how much more damage can I fucking do just by mentioning my story? Does that?
Yeah, well, maybe it's the final nail in the coffin, should you say?
Well, he shouldn't have built his coffin then, isn't it?
Yeah, but there you go. Don't build your coffin. You know, wait for your, you know, live a pure life. Be honest, and this shit doesn't happen. And always be honest. And you know, if you're a man out there and a child comes to you whenever he's 18 or something or whatever, 45, says, "Listen, you're possibly my dad," do a fucking DNA test. There's a lot of men in them situations. Okay, you should have been there whenever the child was younger. But if a child comes to you, doesn't matter about the mother, your wife, do the DNA test and get it done. And you're going to bring clarity to the situation and fuck whatever profession you're in. So that's the last form of contact you're in. And what stage are you up to now? What are you doing now then? What's your mind frame with the whole situation?
So what happened is after that, I thought, you cunt. I thought, you've done it when I was a kid. You've done it when I'm an adult. Yeah. No way. It's not going to happen. If you can do that to a child, that's why I'm 95% sure. When you listen to the audio, people will say, 95% sure. It's only that DNA. And then that's when I thought to myself, if he can do it to me, is he doing it amongst this child abuse campaign? Shit, what's he hiding? So I started checking into it. And that's when I, started finding things out. And
you see, this is where it's quite, look, he's not a smart narcissist, we'll put it that way. Because if he was an intelligent narcissist, he would think to himself, well, if I fuck this guy off here and I don't give him the DNA test, then he's going to go out and do all these things and look into me. But if I do the DNA test, he's not going to look into me. I can, if he was actually smart about the situation and wanted to sort of preserve his reputation.
Well, a few other people have said that they threatened, he's threatened them as well.
Threatening with who
like
is this
John
guy?
Wedger.
Is this guy involved in the mafia? Is this guy involved in the IRA? Is he involved with football?
No,
What
no,
do you mean?
he's a
Who
fucking
is this
liar.
guy? Like?
They wouldn't have.
Do you know
No,
what I mean?
he's an actor. He's an actor.
There's
That's
all
all
these
he is.
people.
He's a fucking.
You know, I see all these people on YouTube. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, and you hear about Bill Maloney threatening people. Go fuck yourself. Do you know what I mean? People don't threaten. This is what you have to understand, guys. Anybody that says I'm going to do this is not going to do that.
No.
Anything that is going to happen will happen without you knowing. And that's just plain and simple. If he was going to do something to the mass detective, it would have already been done. That's what
No, he was waiting for me to speak about it.
But if he wants to tie up any loose ends, just if he was a legitimate guy and he wanted to tie up a loose end and no worries, he would have done something by now.
Yeah, do the fucking DNA.
But what I'm trying to say is this persona that he has, that he's this made man that can get people done, a load of balls. What I'm trying to say is that a person who is going to do that doesn't say those things and they don't act that way. Threats, people who make threats.
The thing is, he's fucked himself up. He's fucked himself up because on the video, you'll see blackmail. On the video, you'll see perverting the course of justice. Mm-hmm. Then you'll see intimidating a witness. Then you'll see false accusations, impersonating a police officer. I mean, there's so if any of these dickheads, Sean Wedger, yeah, and the main sort of cult that they're all surrounded with, and there's loads of them. I've done videos on most of them, not all of them, but most of them.
Do you want to break that situation down? How Bill Maloney's sort of involved with all these guys?
Well, I mean, everyone knew anyway. Everyone online knew it. I wouldn't have known it if people didn't pull it up. I just done a little bit more looking into it, analyzing the videos and picking because look, if it's a lie, doesn't matter what it is. If it's a lie, yeah, when you're critiquing something, you will find it. If you're looking for truth, proper truth, you will find
you're
it.
You're looking at the John Wedgers on the Sean Atwood podcasts, and you're seeing him very passionate. He's a very passionate man towards
they're all dodgy.
Children.
But you know what?
But he's very sorry to interrupt, but he's very passionate about saving children. He's very passionate about anti-Satanism, and he's very passionate, and he comes across as a very genuine. Nice,
they all
nice
do. Yeah, they're all very nice people when you're giving them fucking money. Look, do you know what it is, right? These little mongrels, they're mongrels. Yeah. Now, look, all it takes is one video, right? And this video where John Wedger, I'm going off subject because I've dealt with Bill. They can watch that sort of on the story. But this John Wedger said to a guy called Charlie Ward on an interview they were having, why don't we get a child porn movie and watch it to see the fear in the children's eyes and to see what pain they were going through? Why the fuck would you say that? And he never said it just there. He said it on the Sean Atwood show as well.
So
he said Carl Beach was not a victim. Carl Beach was a victim, he said. When that cunt got done for pornography and got 18 years in prison.
Wow.
And the same with Chris Lambriano, who John Wedger was hanging around with, which Sean Atwood has had on the show many times as well, that was talking about the Jesus Army. If you go to look at the Jesus Army was closed down for fucking child abuse.
I'm telling you now, guys, right? And just to react to that, if nobody needs to see anything to understand, right? It's as simple as that. That blows my mind. That I just, I'm gonna
think about it, right? Think about it. Think about this.
I'm speechless.
Right? Think about this. Yeah, even though, I don't know Sean Atwood, but he's done some crazy things as well, like making someone call him daddy and things like this, right?
Yeah. What is for defamation reasons? What we'll do is here we'll just say English podcaster, because I'm hearing of a lot of defamation claims on.
All right, English podcaster. But let me explain this English podcaster. He has to understand what defamation is. Defamation is when there's no proof. The defamation is the defamation of himself. he said it on video out of his own mouth. There's no defamation there. Because you look at if you look at the defenses for defamation, it's exactly that.
It's different with the John Wedger one because that actually was said on a video. But I know
Same
a
with
couple
him.
of people now. I know a couple of people now that have had their videos flagged.
Yeah, but he's got
for saying less. For saying less.
Yeah, this English podcaster who also done an interview with Sonia Poulton, actually admitted that it was wrong that he done it. So
yeah, I seen that. You know.
Yeah, so there you go. You've admitted to it. There's no defamation.
So just to break that down, and just how I sort of process things is just to break it down. What you're basically saying is that there's these groups of people. Okay, they might not all be connected, but they are connected in a certain way. English podcaster John, Bill Maloney, and Bill Baloney, as you call them. And basically what they're doing is they're on the outside, they're saying we're here to protect people, but in reality, there's actually a couple of skeletons in their closet that doesn't actually fit the narrative of what they're portraying. So, you know, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. Like, when it comes to Sean Atwood, I know there's a lot of people close to me that don't like Sean. I personally think that Sean's okay. I think he's actually a nice guy. But in regards to other people like John Wedger, Bill Baloney, and people like that, there's question marks over these guys, basically.
Do you know the thing is, right? I've got nothing against this Sean. I don't even know him. Yeah.
Neither do I.
But he's not excused for doing what he's done, and he's admitted that he's not excused from it either because it was wrong, and it involved childish type activities. Meaning, you know what you see. But what I'm saying is, what's the string of things? Think about it, right? Mr. Wong, Wilfred Wong was on the Sean Atwood show. Was also with John Wedger. What did he get done for? Trying to kidnap a child and send him overseas, and he got 17 years as well.
Yeah, but in defense, I have to come from a different angle. Sean took down all the videos of Wilfred Wong.
It's never going to go from people's minds. He's already put it out there.
Yeah, like you could turn around and say that. You could turn around and say that you know, said podcaster. I've said his name there a few times. Probably will get done for defamation now. You know what YouTube's like. But the English podcaster has took down all the videos. I suppose like that's like, for instance, I could have somebody on my channel. They could turn out to be a wrong one, and it's nothing to do with me. But what we're noticing here is that there is a pattern with all this circle of people. As you say, John is connected to Wilfred Wong. Wilfred Wong is connected to English podcaster. English podcaster could be connected to Bill Maloney, A, B, and C, blah, 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 blah. And they've all, Wilfred Wong, one of them, do you know what I mean, was against SRA. He worked for like
you've got
satanic ritual abuse or something, and he's found actually to have kidnapped a child and tried to send this child overseas.
Yeah, you've got a few other people involved as well.
Yeah, it's a very disgusting circle.
It goes all the way down, and I mean, you can even go down to like people like Brian Hurl and Brian Harvey and Chrissy Morris and Matt Taylor. I mean, you can go really low down to these people, and they've all got something about fucking children. All of them. You'll see in the videos, you'll see the pattern. Children. So what I'm saying is, even though the English podcaster maybe not be involved or whatever, but he can't tell me he doesn't watch YouTube and study the videos. I think I'm having him on my show. Is that what he's done? No, fuck it. I'll keep him coming.
I think, right, in my personal opinion, and I could be wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of things. I think when it comes to said podcaster, English podcaster, I think it's all about content, right?
Yeah, that's it.
It's just about the content, really. It's just about the content.
Yeah, and that's where you get fucked up. You get pulled into question because it's just about the content.
Well, so, I've been guilty of that myself.
Think about it. What do they always talk about? This English podcaster. He talks about crime. He talks about Satanists, SRA, and fucking all the dark stuff. It's always dark stuff. Even on this English podcaster's video, he had a fucking big fucking dildo in the background on display.
You see,
I mean, all this
you know,
stuff.
this is where I do have a problem. Pardon me. I recently went through a scenario, right? So I'm not bringing it about myself. It ties into what you're saying. I went through a scenario where I took down a support video for a person, right? I'm not going to say their name. And when looking into this person, okay, they mightn't have done anything wrong, but because of their line of work was exposing predators, they mixed their personal life with that YouTube life. And it's for the English podcaster, he has now done the same thing.
Yep.
And it's a stain that you'll never be able to get away.
No.
No matter how much you try to run away from this, you're never going to get away from this stain. And if you do connect yourself with people in that world, like Wilfred Wong, John Wedger, okay, we're not trying to say that these people are bad people. We don't know. We don't have a clue. Well, Wilfred Wong, yes, because he was convicted of it. But John Wedger and people like that, we don't know. But there is this seedy circle, and when you look into the sort of the language, as you do, Mass Detective, you're basically a language expert. You actually realize, hold on, what did that guy just say? No, you don't need to watch bad sort of content regarding kids to understand that that's wrong. We don't need to see that. And if he did come out with that, he needs to fucking.
Do you know why I say they're all bad? They're guilty as charged, and I'll tell you why. Is because if me has found that in videos coming from their mouth, it's not defamation. It's coming from your mouths, yeah. And I found it. There's no way we can say, oh, but they might be good people.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know.
No. But the thing is, if they were good people, would any of that shit be? Would they watch what they say online? Would they have other people's interests at heart and things like this?
I've had this conversation with a few people, right? And I remember the Video Craig interview I done, right? We done. And I think I'm paraphrasing here. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I says, why hasn't something come out about me? And Video Craig replied, because you're not big enough. And I said, well, no, it's nothing to do with that. It doesn't matter how big I get. You're never going to get okay, you know, you're never going to get a title. You're never going to get a scenario where I'm involved in sort of people that are fucking wrongins, right? Because I've never affiliated myself with anybody like that, right? You're never going to get a scenario where some sex scandal where I'm running a sex cult comes out, like some of these people, right? And it's these people that are involved in this stuff that sort of are in the territory of protecting kids. And it's like they're using this as a smokescreen to what's really going on in the background. And what they project isn't who they are. And that's what I'm seeing at the minute on YouTube. I'm not saying all of them. I'm not saying the English podcaster because I like his work. I'm not saying him. I know there's a lot of people trying to take him down at the minute, but in reality, there's a lot of these big channels that
as
are
I
out
said,
there,
I'm not.
You know, they're not who they say they are, basically.
I don't want to attack anybody. Literally, I seriously don't. I just want to get on with my life. But it just goes to show that from one person, it's led to so many people and so many people's problems and issues online for everyone to see has been resurrected, if you like. And even if you say sorry to the cows come home, you did it.
Yeah.
You did it. You can't run away from it. Own it, admit it, sit in, do some shadow work and admit it that you're a bunch of losers, that can't bring up content, that lie all the time, because if you didn't lie, you wouldn't get caught out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm going to go down. Even Brian Harvey is a dodgy little cunt. Yeah, I'm telling you, I've got a video on him as well. He's a dodgy little cunt. Right? And I'm telling everyone in the chats, this is my opinion. This is my truth. It's not Ronan's, it's mine. Yeah. If you like him or if you like the people that I'm mentioning, fine, follow them. That's your path. But there's something called the freedom of expression and the freedom of thought. And I'm telling you my truth and what I've uncovered. And I have put it all into a video format. and that's the evidence.
Yeah, and nothing that you've ever. This is the thing. Anything that you've showed me has came from the horse's mouth. It's never
Yeah,
came from. It's never came. You're saying it's
yeah,
your opinion. It's not your
yeah.
opinion because it's actually came from their mouth.
No, it's
That's
my
the thing.
opinion in order to search these little losers out, you know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
my
No,
like some people say, "Oh, why'd you bother? Why'd you bother?" But I didn't want to. It just led from Bill Maloney. I went into John Wedger, and then from John Wedger, it just went, and there was all other people lining up.
yeah. Listen, there definitely is, without a doubt. Let's not deny this here. There definitely is a seedy underbelly to all this shit. Who's involved in that seedy underbelly? We do not know. But I
Don't
guarantee the
know.
people who aren't involved in the seedy underbelly, there's people above that know that shit's going on,
Do you know
and
what?
they're not
They're
doing
there to
anything just to
they're there
protect their
to earn
position.
money. They're there to earn money. They're there to discredit real victims of child abuse. They're there to discredit them. They're
Mhm.
there to let the people actually doing the abuse get away with it. Hence why Bill Maloney, Belinda McKenzie, and John Wedger have calls for amnesty for paedophiles. And John Wedger called for it by saying mitigation. If you look under mitigation and what that means, it's exactly the same shit.
And tell you what, if there's anybody watches this here, if there's maybe Sean Atwood, John Wedger, Bill Maloney, if any of these people want to come on and debate me in the Mass Detective, he's got the platform. You don't have
Yeah,
to, go around and make trolls and say this. Just come on, debate us. If you think that if you are telling the truth, come on, debate the Mass Detective. I'll be here as a mediator. I'll always stay neutral. And he's got the Mass Detective has the information. You can do it in his channel too, and I'll still do the same thing on his channel. And I think that's probably the best way to go about
and I
it.
might even, do you know what? I might even do a book about it as well.
Oh, mate, listen to. So yes, let's get on to that. So, once again, if you can, guys, jump over to the Mass Detective UK channel. It's in the live chat. I've got it pinned, and it's in the description of this video. Please jump over, subscribe, and ring the bell to that channel. All information about the upcoming video series that you're bringing out, sort of not exposing, but you're talking about Bill Maloney. You're talking about a few other people. Will be there, and
Yeah,
you'll
and
get
I'm
all
not talking. By the way, I'm not
information.
talking in none of them. It's literally just putting videos together to show you
Yes.
the where they
Yeah.
fucked up.
Yes. So basically, where these people have fucked up, he's put the videos together to show that look, this is what they've said from their own mouth. So none of this can be done for defamation. It's
No,
not really the Mass Detective speaking too much. He's
no.
put it, and please go over to that channel. I've got it in the live
The
chat in the
only time
description
I
of this video.
speak is when I'm speaking about Bill Maloney in that video, which is just
Yeah,
about me and him. And
yeah.
you know, I can't get done for defamation there because he just needs to prove a DNA. He just needs to put a DNA in it. And if he
Well,
don't want to do a DNA, then he has to prove that I'm his son, innit?
Well, you didn't say anything. You're just. I could turn around and say that I'm Bill Clinton's son, and do you know what I mean? It's not a defamation
Yeah.
thing. I could turn around and say I'm Elvis Presley's son. It doesn't. That's not defamation. It's just a thing that people. You're not implementing people into a situation. You're just asking a
I
question,
mean, I'm not. Yeah,
basically.
look, I could even go to his family members because they'll still have a trace of DNA that's connected to me if I want to. But I'm
Well,
not like that. I'll go
you know,
straight to the person.
you did say that Bill did come from the north here, the north of Ireland. So,
Yeah,
I'm sure the people of the north here, they're a bit more, should you say, forgiven than the Londoners. Maybe he's picked
yeah,
up a
I
few
know.
bad habits,
Because he
Bill.
come
So
over. Because he come over when he was 5, in it or something.
yeah, so listen. There's more than one way to skin a cat here. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Forgive the
But
expression, but there is
if
like,
any of you little fuckers, yeah, the English podcaster, Bill Baloney, John Wedgie, yeah, and any of you other little fuckers that want to go around threatening other people that have got real stories to tell, yeah, and you think you're going to throw that threat on me like you did, that you said in the video, there's a lot of things that are coming your way if you do that, like intimidation of a witness, perverting the cause of justice, blackmail, false allegations, sitting on evidence of potential paedophiles, i.e. Prince Andrew and things like this. So if you know, if they want to go down that road, they can go down that road if they want. But it's not going to end up well for them. Trust me on that, because I'm a pushy cunt.
Oh, you are.
I don't. Do you know what it is?
Definitely are, mate.
Do you know the thing is? I understand what death is all about. I don't fear death. So why would I fear anything less than that?
Mate, that's well put. That is well put. What about your books that you have? Now you don't have books; you have PDF files. You want to put them in the book forms. We're trying our best here to get a book out for the Mass Detective. He's got so much knowledge, a wealth of knowledge. Could you do a book sort of talking about all these guys? Because you've got many other books. Where can people get
Yeah.
these PDF files to read through your? They're basically books. They're just not hard. They're not in a hard copy. So where can people get these?
I mean, they are sitting on the site, but I'm waiting to release that. I'm just sort of promoting it at the moment, giving it to a few people that are interested, so they can give me a review on it, and that kind of stuff.
Well, maybe there's a couple of lucky sort of, you know, people in the chat, listeners right now that could, if they wanted to review your book and give you feedback on it.
Yeah, just put a video in. Comment in the video, and use a fake email address. It don't matter, because you just need to grab the file.
Okay, so jump over to your channel basically, and
Just leave a message.
Yeah, just leave a message in the comment section, and you'll get back to them. So just jump over to the Mass Detective UK channel, which is in the live chat in the description of this video. Subscribe, ring the bell, and you'll be able to get in contact with you there.
And none of these donuts online, can even think about attacking me. And I'll tell you why, because I've done nothing. I didn't ask to come out of your sperm your ball bag, yeah? I didn't ask to come out of your fucking ball bag. I didn't ask to be fucked around. And I didn't ask to see all the videos that I see in order to bring light to the subject. So if you come to attack me, just guilty as fuck, innit? Guilt is sin.
I'm gonna just read out a few of the chat here, because
Yeah,
we've covered
I can't see the chat, so.
Oh, can you see the chat now?
No.
Just click on the right hand side. You should be able to see the comments.
Yeah, no, I've left it because I get distracted if people are in the chat talking, you know.
Yeah, I turned it off myself. I'm just on it now. So guys,
Yeah.
Let me see. Stephen Ross says, first time I disagreed with the Mass Detective, but that's okay. Stephen's a good guy, and he's not a bad guy at all. He's from my area. Always gives good feedback. So there was a question there. Yes, here's it here. I'll put it up on the screen. Do you think Brian is controlled? I think they're talking about Brian Harvey.
Yeah, do you know what? I don't know, but it seems like he's the next, I don't know, Cole Beach or fucking Andrew Ash or something, because there's a video of him where he's on audio speaking to a woman, and he says he didn't know who was in the red room. He didn't know who was in it, but now he's saying it was Prince Andrew and that. And there's plenty more other shit, you know, that he said as well before in regards to Reggie Cray and not knowing that he was a paedophile, and he was like, you know, procurer of boys, and they were involved in trafficking boys, and which the whole of East End knew, but he didn't know. And then after he mentions about his record deal, he wouldn't have got it if it weren't for Reggie. So, you know, just goes to show that, you know, sometimes you'll miss something just for money, innit, and fame.
So somebody says Brian was set up, is doing his best to bring these dirty bastards to justice, and will win, and will in the end.
Look, hats off. Yeah, as I said, I've got no issues with Brian either. But if you're online and you're telling porcupines and you get caught out from your own gob, yeah, you have to answer them. And they're not silly little porcupines, yeah. First of all, not knowing who's in the red rooms, and then saying it was Prince Philip and that. Prince Andrew, sorry, and the rest of them.
Yeah. Garth W says, what is the title of the Maloney video?
What Maloney video? He's got loads.
Yeah, so basically, I think it hasn't came out yet. So, Garth, if you want to jump over, I've left the link
my one, yeah.
Yeah, so I've left the link for the Mass Detectives channel in the live chat in the description of this video. If you want to jump over there, subscribe, ring the bell to his channel, and all information about when this is coming out will be found on that channel. So Malter Whitty, he's actually a mod to Sean Atwood's channel. I watch a lot of Sean Atwood stuff, and this isn't for me. This isn't a diss of Sean Atwood. I'm actually a fan.
I'm not dissing none of them. The only
I'm
one
a
I've
fan.
got it in. All I've got it in for is that fucking baloney. But in the process, I've seen some wrongdoings. Am I meant to shut it? Am I meant? If everyone shut their mouth about the wrongdoings, are we ever going to solve anything? These poor
Yeah.
children. These lot claim about children, yet it's spewing out of their mouth, and their actions are saying otherwise.
So Malter Whitty has a question. Question, Mass Detective, does Bill know where you live?
Probably.
Right.
I don't. Do you know what? I don't give a fuck. You can come to my door. You know what? Anyone comes to my door or comes to wherever, yeah, if I'm there, I might have moved. Who knows? But if anyone does, they'll be in for a very, so they'll be in for a big surprise. Because not only will I hand over all the videos, all the laws where they've broken all the laws, yeah, and I'll ask them to digest that and go and search for it, and I'll push on it. Because look, you have to know the law. The police are law. We are the law. The police are not. The police work for us. Yeah. And if someone's committing a crime, we have the power as men and women of sovereign to actually take over the police's job. Yeah.
Well, can I just touch on that a little bit? So people have said this. Why is there people give off about grassing? The people, right? This is where this comes in, right? So if you grass on somebody, why is it bad to tell the police something, right? So people in Ireland do not go near cops, right? And the reason being, it's not because of us. It's not because we're ran by criminal gangs. It's because the police have been so corrupt for so long now that if you tell the police something, you're potentially putting another person in the hands of criminals, because the police themselves are just known as another criminal entity. And it's not that there's honor amongst thieves. It's, obviously, yes, when it's got to do with children, go to the police 100%. But if it's got to do with a bag of coke, or if it's got to do with having a punch up with your mate or whatnot, there's a fight outside a bar, somebody goes to the police. Police go above and beyond to fuck people so bad for the most little of things, that it's to go to the police. It's the fucking wrong thing to do, basically, in a lot of scenarios.
Look, when people say grass, yeah, when you talk about children or use fucking children, yeah, I don't care if I'm called a fucking grass. That's fucking children. All children, not just my fucking children, your children, our children, the next generation. So no one can say that's fucking grassing. Yeah, I'm happy to fucking do that when it comes to children. What? You think about this, right?
That's what needs to be done. People. There's a lot of people out there, though, Mass Detective, that don't realize that. There's a lot of people out there in situations that won't go to the police when it's got to do with protecting the child, because they think it's grassing. I'm drawing the line here, right? See if you have a fight with somebody. See if you're selling drugs. See if you're doing some mad shit, right? You're a criminal. Okay, that's grassing 100%. See when it's saving a kid's life. Go to fucking Mars if you have to. Go to Mars. It doesn't matter who you go to, as long as that child
The thing
is in
is,
a safe
who's gonna protect the children? Who's gonna protect the children? If we don't tell, who's gonna protect the children? They've got no mouth.
So see all the bullshit that people talk online, like, oh, join this cause and do this here and give money to here and do this here. All bollocks. This is how you protect children, right? This is how you protect children, right? Is see if you even have an inkling in your head that a child is being hurt in any way, shape, or form. Do something about it. Doesn't matter if you're Joe, Mary, Jimmy, Joe, Bob, bloody the Queen Mother. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, right? If you have an inkling that a child's being hurt in any way, shape, or form, do something about it. If everybody chips in like that, then the numbers of children that get hurt go down. And that's it. That's how simple it is. That's how simple it is.
It just shows that there's a community out there actually looking out for the children.
Yes, community spirit.
Children, not my fucking children, not your children, the children of the world, if you want to call it that.
Because there's a lot of these people, campaigners. I'm going to campaign. I'm going to do this, and I'm
Yeah.
campaigning, and we're going to advocate for this here, and it's all bollocks. It's all narcissistic
All right.
bollocks, right?
There,
And
there's
they
this
don't
other
mean it.
thing, right? There's this other thing with Brian Harvey, right? Because it's just brought it up to my knowledge. There's a video of him smashing. Right. There was an incident. Right. I don't want to mention names, but there was an incident with someone's baby, and the baby died. Right. He reenacted it with a doll and was smashing the doll off the table and taking the piss out of the scenario. Is that good?
No, that's not good. That's to me. Unless you are a forensic expert trying to recreate a scenario, yes, because then
Yeah, he
you're
was
trying to bring
laughing and
somebody.
joking about it. Everyone was. Nikki Cooper was laughing. And she's another one because she's been caught with John Wedger talking about trafficking girls.
You see, the thing about it is, this is where I trust someone. Not that I trust one person. I don't trust fucking anybody, to be honest with you, right?
No.
But there's one person I see in this whole scenario, Sonia Poulton, who's distanced herself from all these people. And she stands up for everybody, man. See if there's something, see if you are being wronged. She is on the forefront of helping you. Even her enemies. Even I've seen her a few times, even, say that her enemies are right because of certain,
Yeah,
ideas.
a
But
couple of things about her as well.
yeah, there probably is, but
Yeah,
but she's distanced herself a hell of a lot from this
yeah,
situation where she,
of course. Good for
you
her.
know,
Good for her.
but she's on brand YouTube. I might actually start an account there, just to get something up and running. Let me just have a look at more questions, and then we'll end this. But guys, listen, show love to the Masked Detective. Jump over to his channel, subscribe, ring the bell. You'll find his channel in the live chat in the description of this video, and all information about all the content that he's bringing out in regards to Bill Maloney and all this here will be found on that channel, guys. So please jump over and do that. I think you're near 1,000 subscribers, aren't you?
I ain't got a clue, mate. 900, I
920.
think it is.
Yeah, so let's get you up to 1,000 subscribers because the channel deserves it.
This last piece of information, yeah, which is Section 3 of the Criminal Law Act, 1967. It gives any man or woman the authority and the power to prevent crime. And we also have authority to use force as is reasonable, necessary in order to prevent that crime from happening. And the police may be resistant to this. However, they have a duty to protect the people. They are public servants who we pay with public taxes and public money. They work for us. If crime, injury, serious harm and death is being committed, it is incumbent upon the police in their office of constabulary on oath, which they swore to protect us, the people, from said harm. And if they are in attendance, it is their duty to gather evidence and seize the weapon, and then these should be taken into protective custody and detained in their property evidence stores to be independently, forensically tested as a matter of urgency. And this is a fact in law. And the law is the same, whether you are a police constable in uniform or whether you are a citizen, man or woman that is sovereign. The police have a duty, and that duty is to respond and act accordingly. And if the police fail to do their job, then they are committing an offence of misconduct in public office and perverting the course of justice, which is a crime, and they can be arrested by the police. And if they know offenders are responsible for these crimes and they do anything to assist those offenders or prevent them crimes from being detected or deliberately frustrate the criminal investigation, then they are also guilty of an offence of assisting a known offender. Remind them that they work for the people. They do not work for the government. It is the government ministers, the civil servants, and the media bosses who are committing these disgusting crimes throughout the United Kingdom. So you can't be expected to go to these people because it's the job of the police to go to the offenders, not the public. That's what we pay them for. But if they don't, you can do it. That's the
Yeah,
law.
well, just to clarify that, I know a little bit about that. So, people do. I watched the video about reasonable force, and we can talk about that because that actually comes into a lot of things. Reasonable force, right?
Yeah.
I'm in the street. I'm making a citizen's arrest. I'm now going to use reasonable force. Here's why this is a bullshit law, and here's why you can get done. And there's a misconception about this law, right? So if I use reasonable force on somebody, right? My reasonable force is different from your reasonable force, and they will bring this up in court. So if I detain, just say, a predator that I've just stung, just say Liam's on the street, he just stung a predator, and he uses force. Well, a solicitor or whatever, and it's happened many times, have says, well, actually, his reasonable force is different from my client's reasonable force, and he thinks that was a bit excessive, and that's where these people can get away with it, and
But
that's where
why
the police aren't doing their job.
That's why when you go to make a citizen's arrest, you should always inform the police to be there when you're there, and then you can say you're making the arrest in front of the police, in which means that you don't have to make any physical, because the police are there to do it. If the police don't do it, then you can call other police to nick them for not doing their job.
Well, good luck with that. Good luck with getting
that's the law, you know. But people fear too much, you know.
100%, mate. 100%, they do fear. I just seen one case where there was a predator hunter. He went to court. I think it was what do you call the one, your guy from, he's an MMA fighter. He's got a channel, and he went to court, and that was brought up in court about reasonable force. And he urges people now not to touch the predators, physically touch them, because you can actually get done for using any force. And he says this law is a bullshit law, and it needs to be, something needs to be put in place for a citizen to go, do you know what, that guy needs to be detained, and I need to be protected at the same time.
Well, you wouldn't need to use reasonable force if you've got like a group of men with you, or you've got the police with you.
Exactly, but you know yourself, mate. But if you're ringing the police, sometimes it takes them like 2 hours to even show up. Do you know what I mean? For they don't take any of this serious. They don't take if somebody's getting burgled, or if there's something, they might show up, but they don't take most things serious. You know, they'll take a lot of things serious, but they don't take the protection of children very serious anyway, especially here in the north. You know, but is there anything else that you want to talk about?
Not really. Just thanks for everyone listening to my story.
Well, guys, listen, I'm going to say it again. Sorry for bugging you, but please, guys, jump. I've got the Mass Detectives UK's channel in the live chat and the description of this video. Jump over, subscribe, ring the bell, and you will be up to date with all the content that's coming out, all the content in regarding Bill Maloney. And please do that, guys. Jump over and subscribe and ring the bell to his channel, guys. Thanks very much for tuning in. Peace.